The Ambazonians pledge their loyalty, praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom. Our legends to the hero who fought along with Diablo. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing with and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation.
Revolutionary greetings, my fellow Ambazonians. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you may find yourself, under whatever conditions you are existing and operating in. To our captives in the dungeons of La République du Cameroon, una place them day. To our soldiers manning our villages and our towns and our neighborhoods, una place them day. And to our refugees, both internal and external, una place them today. The status of our liberation is strong. The Ambazonian people are one step today towards freedom than they were yesterday. This is a briefing that I thought I owe the Ambazonian people on the actions that has liberated more than 25 villages of the Ambazonian Federation. My fellow Ambazonians, I know that the past few days information had been dripping out about a major operation, and sometimes there were confusions about where those operations were occurring in some of the videos. But all was as a result of the actions from our Bui military district, location of Operation Ndonga Mantu. So my briefing today will center around this operation. A couple of months or so ago, the work that had been taking place within an area of Ambazonian that for a long time the liberation struggle has been dormant, that work came to fruition with a group of the officers of the Donga Mantung brigades traveling to meet the Lieutenant General of the Bui military district. who commissioned them, gave them their commission under the chain of command of the Ambazonian Defense Forces, and sent them back. On the table during that period, and I want to congratulate DDC Kavi and the coordinator for Dunga and the coordinators of Boy. During that set down and looking at the operational map of the region, a proposal was made from the commander of Ndonga, Yasser Arafat, to the LG about the strategic need for the Ambazonian Defense Forces to be able to clear out La République's hold in a couple of strategic locations at Luz and come at the border area of Ndonga. More than 2 months ago, that operation was passed to the coordinators, and the coordinators brought it to my desk. And a name was chosen for that operation. And that operation name was Black Thunder of Ndonga Manto, which translated in short into Mad Black Thunder as the name of the operation that was given. The outcomes of that I signed that operation finally after from that initial phase, discussions, operational commands were set up, discussions had, and certain different aspects. Operational command was set up, and different aspects of the operation was put in place, so that if all of the goals that were set and all of the conditions that were set were met, then the operation will be given go ahead. On July 28th, I finally signed operation and approved Operation Mad Black Thunder. It had as objective capture the zone, the operational command zone, capture and eliminate all enemy forces, stabilize the zone by establishing a defensive position and opening operational base in the area, acquisition of enemy weapons, ammunitions, and stores. 4 goals were set out. And the operational command established with a force structure, commando force structure of between 60 to 100 commandos needed for the operation. So I sent the approval to the desk of the president, and it became now a matter of putting everything in place. The number of sticks that will be necessary, the number of pops necessary, the ammo necessary, and everything. It was tough and spreading and sprawling operation. Operational objective, and what I would put as operational logistics. One of the most important, and as I go ahead, I will be clearly putting some of these important points forward. One of the most important of this was operational intelligence, and I want to congratulate the intelligence officers of Ndonga and Abui military district, who really, and this is Commander Uhoha, who was the intelligence chief for this operation, for really doing everything in their power to present the maps, to give to map out the enemy location, to map out areas of reinforcement for the enemies, to map out all of those zones that were necessary. Lieutenant General Kapo, Bush Rambo, Yasser Arafat, and the brigadier generals who were at Mission Central Command worked in order to make sure that the force structure for this operation was met. And so I just want to thank the various commanders from the various barracks who took part. You have Slow Poison, you had Commander Daniel, you had Commander Nema, you had Commander Grace Dock, you have Commander General Sami, you had Mission Commander Yasser Arafat. You also had, coming with a contingent from different brigades, you have Commander Ayaka, you have Brigadier General No Mercy, that is Colonel Ayaka, Brigadier General No Mercy, Brigadier General Kumbu. These commanders, from Jakiri to Yelum to Nwa, Uku, Luz, Kom, Adire, Ako, were able to put down a force structure of close to 70 commandos to carry out the operation. My fellow Ambazonians, when we carry out an operation like this, just as we did Operation Hammer Blow, these are big, huge, massive operations that has a lot of logistics in terms of not just the brain power, the manpower, but also determination and coordination and intelligence, and keeping intelligence in integrity, that the operations don't leak, because it is huge. Look at the layout of these different barracks. Look at the distances. And then you begin to get a picture of just how massive and incredible an operation like this is. From wind damage to Yelum, Uku, Adire, Kom, Nwa, all over. The commandos from their camps leave to area of operation. And for the past 2 weeks, led by Mission Commander Yasser Arafat, overseen by Lieutenant General Kapo, with his lieutenants, Brigadier General Kumbu, General No Mercy, and the incredible Ayaka. These forces, these commanders, were able to bring one of the greatest victory in our war of liberation. The liberation of one Ambazonian village is a cause for celebration. The liberation of over 25 is something else. It's the liberation of a nation. Close to 6 years after La Republique thought that they had given us a knockout blow when they recaptured and took out our training camp at the Dadi villages, the Ambazonian Defense Forces have planted the Ambazonian flag at another border crossing, a border crossing into Biafra land. That is progress. Saw where we were, they thought they knock us down. Look at where we are today. It goes without saying that today, these commanders, these heroes of Ambazonia, they are the shining light. General Kapo, General Kumbu, General No Mercy, General Arafat, Slow Poison, Daniel, Nema, Grace Doc, Sami, all of these commanding officers of the Ambazonian Defense Forces, of the Ambazonian Army, and the foot soldiers who break down the brigade in Cap wall, brick by brick, as we had began the struggle with, as their flag, the flag that they put over the zone they captured, as the ADF flag carried, the block by block. That's how they were dismantling the walls of that brigade, brick by brick, before putting it down. Before continuing with my presentation, I would like for you to watch a video of how they approached the brigade and took it over, and you see the bravery, the smartness of our soldiers.
Launcher, launcher, launcher. No. Go. Dia bubak no juga bubak. No shoot. Me go, me go.
My fellow Ambazonians, if I could mount, they could mount the image of the brigade when they finally overran it. So there you see. In the operation, as I indicated, the four objectives of the operation: capturing the zone, capture and eliminate all enemy forces, stabilize the area, acquire enemy ammunition. You could see the acquisition that our forces had outlined in the videos. You could see they recovered some sticks, they recovered some machines, they recovered some of the things that your tax money and the exploitation of our people had gained for La République du Cameroon. We had been very clear to La République du Cameroon that we are going to dismantle them in our territory, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood. We had promised them that they will get out of our territory. The means that they get out depends on them. They can either walk out, leave our territory and go home, or we are going to bury them in Ambazonia. And that is a promise that we are going to keep. Now, my fellow Ambazonians, these things don't happen by chance. I was talking to the president this morning, as we brief on this issue. And one thing that he said stuck with me. There is a reaction whenever we put a program down, and the reaction is always huge. He called my attention. Let me remember, and for those who responded to the call of the 200 sticks, 40,000 granite campaign, those who were in the forum and those who responded to that call, think about that. Note that part of the objective was the strengthening of the Bui military district. Think about that. How that operation on those who are in the know, who stepped forth and met their obligation. Nothing happens by chance. This, for those who did that, and you saw how the Bui district was being strengthened, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year AKs every few weeks. This is your victory also. And that is how programs leads to quantifiable victory and a step forward for our liberation. My fellow Ambazonians, our forces sustained some injuries, as this fighting, as I said, is a deployment of close to 3 weeks. Deployment and operation battle for close to 5 days that took place. Hot battle for 3 days non-stop. And you could see as reinforcement or to rearm, as ammunition run short. The voice that I heard in operations room that came through from the coordinators was the voice of Brigadier General No Mercy, calling for ammunition to come for them to finish the job. Do you know what state General No Mercy was in? One of his fingers had been shot off. That is the commitment of Ambazonia. That right there, that he had the opportunity to be evacuated, but he was still playing the leadership role at the front. We put the name Mad Black Thunder, not just for our forces, but for our people. Because you, from Donga and everywhere else in Ambazonia, an army, a liberation fighter, or a civilian, or a normal person from the diaspora or everywhere, that name means something. Because you will remember in history, and people will remember, and you will ask yourself, where was I when I heard Operation Mad Black Thunder had succeeded? What was my reaction afterwards? I would like just 10 or 20 individuals to get out of here and just say that, you know what, we are committing to send 20 sticks to the Bui military district, so that this place that we have captured remain in Ambazonian hands. These villages are just now go into stabilization phase. Are there Ambazonians that will step forth? That is what makes victory and a fight, and a territory not fought over multiple times. And I am asking the Ambazonian people to be patient. I know sometimes it gets impatient. Oh, what is happening with the struggle? Oh, what is happening? What is going on? Everything has died down. And all of these insecurities. My fellow Ambazonians, have faith in your army. Have faith in your leadership. Have faith in the Ambazonian Defense Forces. I have laid you out the number of camps and barracks that came together. Imagine the ammunition, the preparation that went into this. I can tell you a week ago, basically on the 27th, if I'm not mistaken, on the 28th last month, this operation was hanging by a thread. By a thread. I can tell you that the operation was already 90% failed without one gun being shot. That's 28th of August. One gun being shot, that operation was hanging by a thread. And it was just the determination of the forces on the ground and the coordinators that rescued this operation. The coordinators pushing the president and me, the commanders on the field, determined that what the obstacles, they must surmount it, and all through they pulled through, and this victory. I tell you. So you can see something happen like this. Know that about 10 had already failed before one goes through like that. So it's not a matter of not sleeping. On my decks, I have operations that have not been approved. I have more than 6 operations that had been approved and failed before this. So just have patience, because right now, the battle is their economic structure. Yes, we accomplished that, dismantling it, political structure. The battle is to dismantle their military structure right now in Ambazonia. So these massive operations, taking out zones, capturing zones, are part of the equation right now. These are part of the equation, part of our formula for victory. Therefore, I am asking you for your patience. I am asking you for your faith. I am asking you for your determination. Because in those times that you have insecurities about the status of the struggle, your determination should be the thing that carries you through. Note that the Eritrea got its independence not the day that Asmara fell. No, that was not the day that Asmara fell. They got their victory earlier. They got their victory way earlier when they what was this battle? They had a battle. It just got off my head. But I can tell you that they took out an Ethiopian forward base, and it created a cascading effect that all of them crumbled and they marched into Asmara. That is the operations that we are focusing on. And it's why I come now to the final point in this, my briefing. And I'm asking you, Ambazonians, to respond massively to the liberation tax. I promise you, we will take out La République du Cameroon. I tell you, if these guys, these 70 or so commandos that gathered at Luz and took this border, took out La République, imagine you had added another 100 rifles to them. and 40,000 bullets. I am telling you today, you will hear them in my phone coin. That is where they would have reached. So the idea of the liberation tax for our freedom is critical. I hope that this Lieutenant General Kapo and his men have inspired you to understand that we have 800 million amber, 1 billion amber. This struggle is done. We are finished. The job will be done. And it is simple. Look, listening to me today has no effect. Going and paying your liberation tax right now has an effect. Deciding, each of us deciding that I am going to collect the liberation tax of, encourage 10 others to do their liberation tax will create an effect that will bring us the victory that we desire. So, as I repeat, the battle that I forget for those who want to check in Eritrea is the Battle of Trafalgar. The Battle of Trafalgar, that is a battle that they took out a post, as we just took, of Ethiopia forward base, and it created that cascading effect that their military control crumbled. And that is what we are going for. We are going to hit these people and dismantle their military structure in Ambazonia brick by brick. Going, encourage, pay a liberation tax, and support our forces on the field. Today, the Bui military district, their coordinators, their commanders, their officers, they are the jewel of Ambazonia. God bless them, God bless our people, and God bless our land.
Hail this land of glory, we the Ambazonians, pledge our loyalty.
Now the material this we don't harvest them for come gendarmerie yesterday, and due to the poor situation, be able to capture which way it day. Now the Ambazonian Defense Forces of the state led by Major General Lieutenant General Kapo, General Butcher of Wind Damage, Commander One Mama, Commander Isa Arafat. Yasser Arafat. So with Commander Nema, Commander Daniel. So the material this way we run Brugda Gendarmerie. Commander Slow Poison. Yeah, now the material in this. And now the document in this way, the Froxla Republic. They use them now for try for occupy the land. And the free harvest this Okada. Now see now will Lieutenant General Kapo. Now the material this way come up for the place. And another harvest that fresh bike. With all the strong fighters of the day presently for defend the land. For make a minute understand say this land belongs to the people of Southern Cameroon, the enemy people of Southern Cameroon. The land belongs to them. May I come for the other side. Now the material in this, now see, fresh harvest. Now the Ambazonian Defense Forces, the day from Bui State and Dongamantum. So we don't clear that border, the border between Ambazonian and Nigeria. And we pray with other brothers within Nigeria, say, may we join together for fight the war one time, because enemy for we middle so exists.
Launcher. No. No, Go. They go back. No, she go back. No shoot. Me go to go. Me go to go. Now go. No shoot. No shoot for back. Eh? Got people where they shoot for back, so no one see him again. We enter. We enter.
Oh, I launch one time. Go, you go shoot the ass. You don't miss the ass. You go now with the ass. Go now direct with the ass.
Enter. Bravo. Boo boo.
Hail this land of glory. We the Ambazonians pledge our loyalty. Praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom. Our legends to the hero who brought along the gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of His nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live